There you go. Okay, let's get our tap. It's alright, we're waiting on you. Hey, no stealing hats. Straight on, honey. It'll definitely be, we'll get tons of sap this week.
Then we'll heat it up.
Yep, we'll boil it down. Atta girl. Boy. It's alright. Strain it out, we'll put it in. This is after a day. This one's about a quarter full, so it's flowing, but you know, not at a very good rate at this point. At least this tree. This one's just got a few tablespoons. That one's got nothing. That one's got nothing. Now this one has put out about 1.5 gallons in one day and one night. So they all start flowing at different times. You just want to make sure you got a spigot in when they start, because the first sap has got the most sugar content. I'll empty the buckets and filter them through some cheesecloth into empty water jugs. I'm just filtering them out and make sure I get, you know, any of the big particles or bark out of the sap. So there's my 1.5 gallons of filtered sap. I'm going to use a propane fired turkey fryer and a large cast iron pan, although it's shallow. The reason why I like to use cast iron is because it tends to keep its heat. When you're adding the cold sap to the boiling sap, you can still keep it boiling, and that's important. Also, keeping it shallow, because you don't want more than 2 or 3 inches of sap in there at a time. So the size of your pan really limits you. But by keeping it shallow, it does evaporate quicker. And it's also something that you want to do outside. If you do this inside, you're just going to fill your house with a lot of humidity. This cast iron pan will hold about 3/4 gallon. And I was actually able to get 2 full gallons. I checked a couple more jugs and I was able to fill this one up. So we're going to do 2 gallons. That'll give you a good idea what you get out of 2 gallons. It'll be enough to do some ice cream desserts tonight. But the ratio is about 40:1. Now it's a waiting game. That's what you want, is a nice rolling boil. I put some tin foil up on the side of the direction that the wind is coming from to help you know, keep the flame direct and keep the heat in. But actually, this time of year, there's usually a nice breeze, and that helps with the evaporation process. Makes it a little quicker. Oh, and I almost forgot, just as an alert to you Safety Sally asshats out there, this is one of the original turkey fryers without the automatic idiot shutoff gauge that you have to keep turning on every 10 minutes. Yeah, this doesn't have the safety features. Now, it's nowhere near being done yet, but I think, just for experience, it's good to taste test your way through it to know, you know, how sweet it's getting, because that's basically how I tell when it's done, is if it gets to, you know, the right sweetness for maple syrup. It's getting sweet. It's not there yet. We got a ways to go. After 1.5 hours, and we've got the full 2 gallons in there, of course, it's starting to pick up actually a little bit of that distinctive caramel color. It's darkening up. I don't know what does that. Maybe it's just a caramelization of the sugars. and it's starting to get really sweet. It's starting to pick up that smell, that distinctive smell of maple syrup as well. It's not ready yet, but it's getting okay. It's about 2 hours, not quite, but just about. And it's a light amber. Wow. Okay, that is as sweet as candy. As sweet as Hard Rock candy right now. Alright, at this point, I'm going to shut it down. I mean, this is so sweet and so delicious. I mean, you could put this, I'll try to give you an idea. You could put this on top of a snow cone, and it would be sweet enough. You know, that kind of sugary syrup sweet. So I'm going to shut this down and filter it one more time, and then save it for our dessert tonight. So out of, I would say a little over 2 gallons, I've got 2 cups of sugary sap. And I filtered it out one more time to make sure everything's out of there. And if you want a thicker consistency, you put it on the stove and boil it down even further to get to the consistency that you want. And I think I will go ahead and do that now to make it, more of a syrup, a maple syrup. Okay, we got about 15 minutes to dinner time, so I'm going to add the cabbage to the corned beef, carrots. Had the corned beef on for about 4 hours. We'll put the cabbage in now. Let that go for another 15-20 minutes. Cover that baby up. Oops. Oh yeah, St. Patty's. And I've got the maple syrup on the side boiling away. Now I'm going to boil this down just to get to the consistency that I want. Now, I know what you're thinking, or at least some of you are probably thinking this way. Is this really worth it in our, go to the store and pick it up today whenever we want? Well, I'll tell you what, I can't tell you how much this is worth it. At $50 a gallon for pure maple syrup, this is definitely worth it for me. And I got to tell you, I usually buy maple syrup, from Canada or, from Maine through Costco or Sam's Club, and it never has tasted like this. This is so sweet and so delicious. It's one of those things you have to at least, if you're not going to do it, you at least have to try it once in your life. And you know what? It's just one of those things that I love about living up north. I love the seasons, and this is just part of the seasons for me, is maple syrup time. Anyway, my mouth is watering just talking to you about this. So it's a marked difference than buying the syrup that you get that's made out of corn syrup. And it's so sweet and so delicious. It's better than any candy you've ever had. So I'll boil this down on the stove until I get it to the consistency that I want for ice cream. Now when the sap really starts running, it's a bigger process to it. And you want to get as much done as possible in one day. And it usually just takes one day to get 2 or 3 gallons. Anyway, guys, and another thing I wanted to add in is that I don't have any sugar maples in my yard. I'm using basically Norwegian maples, silver maples, and Japanese maples. But they all, to some certain extent, put out sugary sap. Sugar maples are the best, but I don't have any of those. I'm just using those 3 maples that I mentioned. Whoa! Corned beef and cabbage. 'Tis ready. And it looks like our syrup is ready as well. About 1 cup. 1 cup for 2 gallons. Okay. Maybe a little more, huh? Alright, let's try.
I'll try it. Let's try.
What do you think?
Delicious.
That's pretty good.
Best
More, please.
Yeah.
Can we have pancakes tomorrow?
I
Please.
guess we'll have to.